There are 106 universities in the UK. You have 5 choices to make for your university applications. How on earth do you choose the right universities for you? And how do you know you've made the right decision? Well, let me tell you, by the end of this video, you're going to become more confident in choosing the right universities, and you'll become more confident in yourself that you've made the most happy decision for yourself. First, you need to be aware of the 7 decision-making styles. That is being rational, avoidant, fatalistic, incomplete, impulsive, instinctive, and compliant. Note that there are more decision-making styles out there, but these are the 7 main types that you need to consider when choosing the right universities for you. Let's talk about rational decision-making. This is where you make a decision based on reliable sources, right? And the advantage of this is that you're basing a decision based on a wide range of information and up-to-date information, but it is kind of time consuming to find all this stuff, right? And I know you've got, sixth form, you've got other things to worry about, but trust me, you have to make time when it comes to university research. In order to make a good rational decision for your university choices, you need to consider these things. I know it's a big list, all right? I know it's a big list, do not panic, but you have to research in each of those areas to make sure that you are going to the universities of your dreams. You need to get all this, right? It's gonna take time, I know, but trust me, do your research. I also wanna mention that since you have 5 choices to make, I recommend choosing 2 aspirational choices, i.e. universities that are sort of outside your reach, but it is still obtainable and realistic. I would also, the next 2 choices of your universities are your solid choice unis, right? These are your universities where you know you're going to get in no matter what. You know you're going to get the grades. You know like it's a good fit for you, right? And I would choose your last and final option as a safe option, okay? Make sure you are satisfied with all of those universities. I know you'd prefer to go to your aspirational choices, but it's good to have a broad range and make sure you are happy with whatever university you go into. Let's talk about avoidant decision making. This is the decision of putting off making a decision. The advantage of being avoidant is that more opportunities, or better opportunities even, can come up in the future. But the disadvantage of this is that some opportunities are just going to expire before you make that decision. So for example, if you're one of those people that want to go to Oxford or Cambridge, yeah, you really need to think about making an application before October. All right, that's super important. But maybe you're the type of person to, okay, let me go to all my open days or look at all the virtual tours online before I make my decision. Okay, make sure, if you are being avoidant, I'm not saying that it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, but be aware that if you do put off your decision for too long, some of those opportunities will expire, but then again, some different or better opportunities can arise in the future. So make sure you understand that being avoidant isn't a bad thing as well. Sometimes it can be a good thing. Now let's talk about fatalistic decision making. This is where you make a decision based off chance. I'm talking about clearing specifically. I'm not saying that if you go to clearing that you're a bad person or you're a good person, right? I'm not saying that this is a good route or a bad route, but understand that the disadvantage of going through clearing is that you're leaving things up to fate, whether things will go good for you or bad for you. I know people who's been through clearing and has had the best times of their lives in university, but at the same time, I know people who has regrets. So, it's a mixed bag. So if you don't want to put off things by chance, make sure you do your research. Make sure you put in the hard work. Make sure you put in the extra hours after school. Make sure you revise. Make sure you stay focused, yeah? Tunnel vision to get into university. If things don't go to plan, yes, you can blame someone, but when it comes to these important life decisions, you want to be the person that takes responsibility of yourself. This is one of the first important life decisions you'll be making in your life, so make sure that it counts, okay? Moving on to incomplete decision making. This is where you make a decision based on limited information, and the pros of this is that you're making quick decisions based on some factors. But the disadvantage is that sometimes the decision you made is based on unreliable and inaccurate information. How do you make the most reliable and accurate choice for your university? Well, in order to make that complete decision, you have to research these things. I know it's a big list, but you gotta put in the work. You gotta understand what you're putting yourself into, and that's really important. You don't want to be that person spending 3 years in university and regretting your life decisions. For some people who have left their application last minute, or you may have been too avoidant, right? You might have missed some university's opportunities, okay? But that's not the end of the world, all right? You can still make quick decisions. I know some people from my sixth form who hasn't went to the open days or virtual tours or campus tours or whatever, and still applied to those universities based on graduate prospects and based on student life, okay? And for those people, they managed to have a good time in uni. But obviously for some people, they regretted their decision. So make sure you're not making a regretful decision. I want to add a very important point here as well. This is something I wish I would have done back in sixth form, and that is watch other YouTubers, okay? I can't stress this enough. Watch other YouTubers, because those YouTubers will have experienced university, because they've been there. They are the ones that can talk to you about student life, nightlife, social life, the societies, everything that the university has to offer. I know it's long. I know some of these videos are 20 minutes long, 10 minutes, 40 minutes long. I know, and some of them aren't even time-stamped, which is, which is kind of taking the piss, really. But, I know it's long, but this is something I wish I did back in sixth form, so I would have a more complete picture of the university. So I have a more complete vision, and I knew what I was putting myself into. Now let's talk about instinctive decision making. This is where you make a decision based on what feels right, okay? It's your gut feeling. The advantage here is that you will feel happy because, it's a heartfelt decision. But the disadvantage again is that you might not have taken all of the factors into consideration. For example, although it may feel right, you might have not made a complete decision, or you've not have made a fully rational decision. So make sure you do your research on student life, your prospects, your degree, you're reading your modules, the lecturers, the libraries, all sorts of things, okay? Make sure you take everything into consideration in addition to what feels right to you. Moving on to impulsive decision making. This is where you make snap decisions. Man, I'm saying decisions so many times in this video, turning into a tongue twister. The advantage of making impulsive decisions is that you're responsive to changing situations, but the disadvantage is that you're most likely only considering the short term and not the long-term consequences. In terms of making your university choices, you shouldn't be the type of person who, who looks at league tables, for example, sees the top uni and go, yep, I want to go to that university. No, that is too impulsive. You need to dig deeper. You need to put in the research. Make sure that you're going to university for the right reasons, okay? Make sure you're considering the long-term benefit of your degree. Make sure you consider the transferable skills that you'll learn in university that you can then sell yourself and work for different companies or even work for yourself, right? It's all about learning transferable skills, learning knowledge, all right? And using that knowledge to bring value into the marketplace, may that be in your medical field, may that be in engineering, humanities, economics, whatever, all right? Make sure you're not making an impulsive decision. Make sure you put in the time, okay? Put in that research. I know it's long, but trust me, it is worth it. Last but not least, compliant decision making. This is where you make a decision based on what other people want for you. The advantage here is that you're making other people happy, but the disadvantage is that it may not be best for you. My advice here is that when you are listening to, opinions of teachers, students, lecturers, parents, or, those YouTube videos that you've been watching, is that you take everything with a pinch of salt. I know it's very important to take in as much information as possible so you can make a rational decision or a complete decision or whatever, but you also got to make sure that you're being selfish to your own needs. Make sure you're doing engineering because you want to do engineering. Make sure you want to do medicine because you want to do medicine. Make sure you want to do economics because you want to do economics, okay? I'm not saying that being compliant is a good thing or a bad thing, but in terms of making your university choices, you know, if you're that, you know, easygoing, lazy person who just, you know, takes in whatever and just, yeah, I'll just go with the flow. Yeah, I'll go to that university. Just make sure you know what you're signing up for, okay? Just make sure that you have that self-awareness and make sure that you know you are being compliant. Just don't fall into the trap, otherwise you might end up blaming other people and you don't want to do that. Those were the 7 types of decision-making processes that you need to consider when choosing the right university for you. Out of all the 7 decision-making skills or types that I've shared with you, not one of them is right or wrong, okay? Not one of them should be better than the other. It all depends on you, the individual watching this video. Maybe for some of you guys who are watching this video, you want to make the most rational decision ever, but you don't want to consider what feels right. Or maybe you want to be avoidant, right? You want to go to all the open days and then make your decision. Maybe you understand that, oh, okay, I don't have time. Maybe I have a part-time job. Maybe I have family issues or personal problems. Maybe I do have to make incomplete decisions. Yeah. Maybe I do have to be impulsive. It really depends on your personal circumstances and your personal situation. And unfortunately, one video cannot communicate to all of these individual cases. So I'm really sorry that I may have failed to do that. But make sure you do take a deep look into your own life. Make sure you have that self-awareness, okay? Self-awareness, so important. Make sure you are making a balanced decision. Whatever decision you end up making, make sure that, you know, you are happy with your decision, that this is the decision that minimizes risks in the future, and make sure that is a decision that you've made, yeah? Make sure it is a decision that you've made. That's so important, because this is one of the first steps that you need to take in order to take control of your own life. I also hope that this is the only how to choose your best university for you video that you have to watch. So you can just watch this one detailed video and then you can just go off and do your research, start looking at universities, start looking at campus tours, start, you know, just doing the work. All right, all the best in your research. Yeah, I'll see you next Monday. If you're new to this channel, I post every Monday. All right, good luck. Yeah, safe. It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home. Oi, England this Wednesday against Denmark. Oh, are you gassed?